Good afternoon. When Tiffany called me and asked me to speak, I had no idea what to say, what was expected, what was going to happen. My husband and I moved to Arizona May 2013. We figured that we had another good 5 years and we were really going to spend it playing golf, traveling around the West, and really getting to know the Southwest. He was very healthy. He was very vital. He is the most amazing man I ever knew. The day we arrived, he ended up in the hospital. He was diagnosed with cancer. And February the 25th, 9 months after we got here, he passed away. A friend had told me about Science Care back in April when we arrived, June or July when we arrived here. And we looked into it and we thought it was a great program and decided to sign up. When you don't expect it, this is a horrible thing to say, but we knew a doctor friend that said, if he was going to die, he hoped that he had a heart attack. And believe it or not, sometimes that's a better way than to go through the suffering of cancer. So for 9 months, we went through that, and Science Care was there when I didn't really know anyone. And I didn't know what to do. Fortunately, I had an excellent neighbor who let me come to her house and cry. And I thought I was over this, but I'm not, evidently. But anyway, I was angry. So it took me a while to get my head back on. And then 3 months after my husband passed, and after Science Care really made a very, very difficult situation doable, I decided in his memory that I wanted to do something to help other people through a very difficult time in their lives. I called Science Care and I said, I want to volunteer. And they said, well, we don't accept volunteers. Oh, okay. So I said, all right, well, that's really too bad because I have a lot to offer. And so then Tiffany calls me a couple weeks later and she says, I'd like to talk to you. I said, okay. So we did have coffee. And I told her all these great ideas that I had, which I won't get into. But anyway, they said, well, we would like to hire you. So I'm glad to know that Melanie didn't say I'd been fired. Because honestly, they hired me. I never put in an expense report. I'm sure it upset them, but I wasn't there for the money. I wanted to do something, and if it meant that I had to be an employee of Science Care, then I became an employee of Science Care. It's just I never turned any expense reports. I volunteered. I've gone to several functions, and the one thing that I can say is that, number one, you're never too young to think about this. You never know what's going to happen. We thought that both of us were extremely healthy. We were, except the unthinkable happened. The best people to get the word out to other individuals about Science Care and all the wonderful things that have already been discussed and that you already know about comes from the people here right now, today. You need to tell your friends, your family, your coworkers, explain it to them. I mean, you wouldn't be here if it didn't help you. And so as a consequence, you can help spread the word. And I think, in my opinion, mine, not Science Care's, but in my opinion, I think you are the best source for other people to become more knowledgeable. For some people, it may be a financial decision. For other people, for my husband, it was giving back. He was one of the most giving, honest, caring people that I ever knew. He was generous, and this is what he wanted to do. I'm not as generous as him, but I'm trying. So as a consequence, I also have signed up for Science Care. And, oh, by the way, A lot of people say, well, I'm on the organ donor program. Two things. You can be on the organ donor program, but after a certain age, on your driver's license, that organ donor program doesn't necessarily work anymore. So if you truly want to donate, then look at the whole body donation and help our future generations. Thank you.